What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Honest Tattooer podcast. My name is John Mesa. I'm with G Money.
What up?
And Matt Triano, unfortunately, is not with us here today.
Yes,
but
not.
we have two very special guests. David, welcome to the pod again, brother.
What's going on? It's really, really cool to be back.
No, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Coming through. And Dad, welcome, man.
Hi.
The newcomer. Let's
The
go.
newcomer.
Appreciate it.
So for those that don't know you, let's go around the table. Let them know your name, where you're from, how long you've been tattooing, and what kind of tattoos you like to do.
Cool. My name is Dat. I'm from Philly, work in Jersey. I've been tattooing for 6 years now, and I work with David. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And David?
Yeah, he is a neo-Asian.
More of, I guess you can categorize that like a newer school kind of Asian style. Asian inspired.
Only 6 years is wild
It's
Thank you,
wild.
man.
because the work you're doing is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Thank you,
bro.
Yeah. Super sick. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my name is David. I go by Staydrawlin. I am Philly native. And we work at Pennsauken at a tattoo shop called Ahava Tattoo Studio. I do a lot of really illustrative stuff. Focus on a lot of black and a lot of textured line-based work. Have a
Fire
ton of
stuff.
fun doing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past couple of days, you've been working on like a freaking 3-day, 4-day sleep.
I tend to do a lot of back-to-back days. I think I enjoy it the most because you kind of see it come to life day by day, which is like super cool. You start off with like pretty much just a stencil is blank, and then you're building, and you get to see it stack up and until the finished product. But I think I'm super blessed to have multiple clients that can sit that long.
Bro, I can't believe this
Oh,
guy.
yeah. Facts.
He's done like at least like 5 hours every day. At least
So
5.
This was a 4-day back-to-back. And at least 5 to like 7 hours each
Every
day.
day.
And back at home, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. Maybe even longer, probably like 6 to like 8 hours a day.
Damn.
I think the most is 6 days. 6 days back-to-back.
6 days back to back.
Wow.
Brutal.
Whole leg sleeve, 6 days back-to-back.
Full leg all the way around.
All the way around.
Damn, bro.
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy though? I've seen you work on this day by day, and even the stuff that you did today, it was like hardly red or irritated, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Got the magic touch.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the way my application is, I feel like it's tattooing. How light can you be? But I feel like I have a softer hand. But yeah, I try not to irritate the skin too much. That way I can have room to work on it, the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, less trauma means that your client's gonna sit back to back with no problems. For
sure.
Which is it's a hard thing in and of itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do that you walk them through in order to like prevent as much irritation or to at least be able to tattoo the next day? Because sometimes it's, you already
People
tattooed in that area. You know what I mean? Like you might not want to go over that.
I think a big thing with tattooing like that is just mental, right? Like getting tattooed, I think is a mental game.
yeah.
So I try not to sugarcoat anything, bro. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, this is about to be a breeze,
Yeah.
But I tell them like, yeah, it's gonna be a ride. Like, just lock in mentally, because I feel like once your brain gives out, once you're tapped out in your head, your body's
Start bleeding.
Oh yeah.
bleeding,
It'll follow
get
through.
Crazy irritated. So try to keep them calm as much as possible.
I've always been under the mentality of like, kind of like, I'd rather kind of tell somebody that it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
True.
Because then if it's not terrible, they're like, dude, it wasn't that bad. Like, great.
Yeah.
You know?
And then they feel strong.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I can crush this. I can come in again.
And do it again. Yeah. I'd rather be like, dude, this is going to be really difficult. That way they can get themselves mentally prepared that they're going to do something hard.
I think
Agreed.
a great example is like first time tattoo, like somebody's like getting their first tattoo. I think because like the adrenaline rush, they're expecting like the worst, right? So like when it comes down to it, they're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But, it's been been cool.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
David, you were crushing a freaking rib piece the other day, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I didn't think that dude was gonna finish that.
You could see like his soul was leaving his body, but not honestly. Yeah, man, that's my boy. He's strong, man. He can sit through like easy like 10-hour, 12-hour sessions with me, and yeah, I mean obviously tattoos hurt, but he As soon as he like locks in, he just, I don't know if he's like meditating, but he's just like not there. And we just finish. We get through it.
Damn.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, doing rib tattoos, like, it's a pain in the butt if the person doesn't sit well.
Yeah.
It makes you move slower, gets you more frustrated.
That's a fact.
And you're like,
They start Harlem shaking, you know?
yeah, dude.
Yep.
Also double.
Start twitching, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to dance with him a little bit.
Oh man.
But your client sat so well, like even
Yeah,
towards
he's
the end
good.
of the session, like he was still like, even if it was tough, like he was still smiling through it in a way, you know? Like,
Yeah, props to him, honestly. I don't know. I feel like the more you get tattooed, the worse the tattoos feel.
Yeah.
Like that was saying, like when you're, first time getting a tattoo, you expect to die. You're like, like I'm ready to go through it. But now I've tattooed, most places in his body already. And in my head, I'm fully expecting things to start to slow down a little bit because it just hurts,
Yeah.
But now he's a trooper. Shout out to him, honestly.
no, shout out to him. That was dope.
Big time.
Also, like through the session, you've known him for some time, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was dope. Like you guys were having like deep conversations.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Small talk for me is like really tough. I don't know if I know how to small talk too much. And when I do get into like small talk, it kind of like fades away and then whatever. But I want to know how you're doing. Like really, tell me how are you?
Yeah.
Are you like not just are you okay? Like why are you okay? Like how are things going?
Yeah.
And I like to get into the weeds of things because I don't know. It just feels like such a personal time. You spend 6 hours, 8 hours with another human being. Ain't no way, like, it's just good weather outside. You know what I mean? Like, ain't
The weather, the Knicks.
Yeah. And so I like to get into that kind of stuff. You guys already know I'm like very spiritual. And I like it doesn't necessarily have to be a spiritual talk, but you could talk about real stuff. And real stuff is, I don't know, that's where my mind always gravitates to. And I think I've struck like a pretty good like clientele base that they're like happy to come in. I feel like most people are happy to really talk about themselves.
How do you find, because I feel like I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, tattoo time is a special time where you can like really connect with someone.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
bond with whatever it is that, like you're saying, whatever it's like either going on in their lives, whether the tattoo's related or unrelated, you have a moment where they're willing to probably be a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And kind of like talk. And like sometimes for certain artists, that's difficult for them because they don't want to feel like they're either overstepping, especially like now culturally, like people are very guarded and they don't want to like, they're like, they don't want to get deep.
I think I've noticed that, yes, there's definitely a guard up, but I feel like people have such a thirst for talking about like, things that are actually going on in their life, about spirituality, about like politics or whatever it may be. But it's just so dangerous to talk about things.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And so people are scared to talk about it. It's not that they don't want to. It's just that nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to be put in a position where like maybe my opinion isn't the best opinion. And at the end of the day, it's like you can trust that if you're going to come, especially to me, I think most artists too, we think differently. We think outside of the box. And so you probably won't impress us with your biggest like hot take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to impress most artists because we already are living in this paradigm of I work as an artist for a living and I have to every day create something that does not exist in some form, way, in some shape. So you're not impressing a lot of people with your hot takes. That's my opinion. So I think just going back to the initial point, people do want to talk about stuff. It's just scary. And so if you allow them to just express themselves, they'll be happy. They'll just start letting it go.
I feel like tattooing and tattooing your clients, you know how like naturally, people, everybody's different and everybody has different like boundaries, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like boundaries and walls just crumble when you're getting tattooed because of the bonding that happens between like client and artist. I'm not saying it always happens, but, depending if you're the type of person that somebody's going to feel comfortable, like getting tattooed by you, like some conversations are going to get deep. They're going to get psychological. They're going to get spiritual, political. I feel like it's like mentally, it can be a very like neutral ground where someone can feel comfortable and really open up.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there on
Man,
you know.
I feel like, there was like a thing back in the day, and I feel like there's people that have maybe signs on their shop where it says like, no kids, no politics, no religion.
Right. I mean, exactly.
You know, like,
and I'm completely the opposite.
I'm the total opposite of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I just think it's almost like,
Except the kids part. If they're well behaved and like, hey, you couldn't get a babysitter, but the kid's just chilling there playing his Nintendo Switch, doesn't bother a soul.
Yeah.
Like,
tell that kid to take the needle out of his mouth.
Yeah.
for sure.
Like, it's crazy.
Like, I think it's a matter of like,
yeah.
even like I was explaining to someone, like when you get into a new relationship, right? Little by little, you will disclose things that are more and more maybe like raw and more honest and more like, but on your first date, you wouldn't tell them like your craziest take that you have on something.
It's hard.
But over time, as you build, trust, like that's what I'm saying. Like you guys were having, and you're like, yeah, I've tattooed this guy multiple times. So we're able to kind of reach this point where you can like say exactly what's on your mind. Even if we disagree, we're still fine. It's still
totally
chill,
cool.
we respect each other. But I feel
it.
like now people are very afraid of having a conversation with someone that has a very different opinion and that their business is going to be attacked or hurt by it. I think that's the biggest thing, that people are afraid of like, oh man, if I say something, is this person going to like weaponize this?
Yeah.
And that it's shitty.
Yeah.
We do live in that.
That's where we are.
That's where we are, dude.
Yeah.
Like you could say something. It could be like just somebody that's being a fly on the wall. Like we're having a conversation, but they didn't like what we said. And then they're not going to even say anything to us about it. They're not going to have a conversation. They're going to go online. They're going to post it in a Facebook group of an opposite point of view. And they're going to freaking be
this
like,
guy sucks.
Yeah, these people suck over there.
Yeah.
They made me feel so uncomfortable by speaking about something that I didn't agree with or like. And that's kind of where we're at. So it's kind of like, it's a tricky way, like thing to navigate, but I think it's a risk worth taking.
I agree, man. It's who you are, right? Like, well, your opinions are not your identity, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's true, right? Like you can actually have an opinion and be completely okay to be like changed in that, because I am not this opinion. So if you have something really cool to tell me, I am so excited now. Yes, I think it stings when people feel like they're wrong, but if you have something that's going to allow me to get out from wrong into right, dude, I'm super grateful to you. I really am. As a matter of fact, I think one of my coolest clients is actually from New York. He comes and sees me over in Pensacola, New Jersey. And we have completely opposite takes on life, on politics, on religion, on everything. But me and him, we have a blast every time we get together.
Back and forth in conversations.
And nobody gets offended or anything like that. But we are authentic with one another, and we don't have to be defensive or anything like that. We just love each other, and that's it. And I guess it's a weird thing to say, like, a client, this person loves a client, whatever it may be. But you should have love for people, no matter their opinions. I know that's a hot take in it of its own right there. But
because people always amount like love to like a physical relationship.
Right.
When love has so many more definitions as far as like how it ties in with humility and respect.
Yeah.
So I see where you're going with that. Absolutely. People are gonna be like, love, he loves that.
Totally. If you're listening, I do love you.
Yeah.
I do, for real.
No, I love that, dude. I tell all my friends, bro, like the good friends, tell them you fucking love them, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people need that shit. People need to hear that more often, man.
Yeah.
Fucking, if you have good friends and you love them, fucking tell them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not enough of that going out, So like, I think that's why people have their walls up sometimes.
Oof.
Yeah.
So they definitely gotta spread more love for sure.
And I feel like, dude, if I'm old,
We're old.
Real quick, is that's microphone working? Speak into it.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it a little closer.
Just bring it a little closer.
That's it. Perfect. Like,
Excellent.
I feel like in the era that I grew up and the music that I listened to, it was like the hardest. Like rap was just way more hard than it is now. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
Rap was hard. Metal was just really dark.
Oh yeah. Also really dark. Yeah.
Like everything was way darker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow, like I feel like that still generated a group of people that's they're willing to say, "Hey, man, I love you, dude."
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like 80s babies always saying like, "Oh yeah, we showed love by punching each other." I'm like, what?
Yeah,
It's real though.
Yeah,
it's the hard
we
stuff.
showed love, making fun of people.
Yeah.
All that shit was like, oh, it's straight jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
facts.
true. Yeah.
Fucking, what do you guys have planned for? I know you have something coming up. I want to hear all about it. I was kind of waiting to be on the pod to ask you about your trip to Vietnam.
To Vietnam. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you watch the last podcast, you would know that I'm very devout to following Christ, and in my 3 to 4 years of following Him, I've been led to serve overseas. I did that last year in Italy. It was very fruitful. We got to see people baptized that weren't baptized. I got to tell my testimony and really partner with the Holy Spirit to be able to lead people into just a different paradigm of thinking in terms of what it is to follow Christ and what it is to surrender yourself to Him. So with that being said, I am going to Vietnam this November, and I'm going to be fully devoted to just serving people, just loving on people, giving them good news and hope for the life. Because it's just a lot of hopelessness. You look everywhere. This is war. You look, in Africa, there's actually like genocide happening. You look Middle East, a war that hasn't been, it hasn't stopped since the 50s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so there's just so much happening right now. And I feel like it is true. Things are bleak. It's true. Things are dark, but it's also true that we have somebody that has risked it all to take us out of that bleakness and to take us out of all that nonsense. And so that's what I'm here to do, man. I feel like my my mission back in the day was I want to be the most influential tattoo artist in the industry. And so I want to come up with this cool new way of tattooing, and I want to let everybody know that you could do it your own way. Now I found Christ, and I'm just like, you know what? I think I will influence the tattoo industry, but I think I'm going to influence it in a different way. I want to bring the news of what it is to have hope now. It's not enough of it. So I'm traveling. I'm going to the ends of the world. I don't care. Wherever God wants me, I'm there. Put me in that situation.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I feel like taking those, trips are, not only going to reward you, but are going to reward other people. You're going to bring.
Yeah. God willing, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if people did get served really well? It's always kind of like a lottery. You don't know what you're going to do at the end of the day. You go over there blind completely. You don't know what the heck's happening. I don't speak Vietnamese.
Yeah, is that like a nerve-wracking thing for you? Or like language barrier, new space, new location?
What we're trying to do is we're trying to serve a very young church in a place where Christianity is not really that big, right? Like Vietnam is mostly Buddhist and whatnot. So they're not really familiar with who Jesus is. But there is a small church, and that small church has people that do speak English. And man, by the grace of God, if I can go over there and just talk to one person, tell them my testimony, even if it's like through translation, and they can be like, yo, this guy sucked. This guy was heavily addicted. This guy was a big people pleaser to the point that he couldn't say no to any outing. Anytime his boy was going out, you had to say yes, no matter what. And yeah, just in general, a very broken person. And if they look at me now, they should see a really big change based on the fact that one holy God, the only God, has touched his life and got him out of darkness. Man, if I could tell that to one person and they could listen, that's worth as many thousands of dollars as I could spend to go and take a trip anywhere. Honestly, 100%. It's worth it.
If it's fulfilling, bro, it's worth doing.
100%.
No, that's what's up, man.
Yeah. What if you can bring hope to somebody and they actually receive it?
Man, I feel like I've done, things where you travel and you help someone. Those trips where you get to go you go with the intent of helping people are some of the most rewarding experiences you can have in life. And like, you know, we hadn't seen each other in a while, and you asked me like, you know, what have you been up to? And I was like, I've been enjoying like slowing life down because
that's good.
You know, I felt a lot like my 20s moved so fast.
Yeah. Busy.
Just so busy on my goals, on my own personal goals.
Yeah.
And I feel like I lost so many opportunities to connect with like the most important people in my life, you know, like whether that be my closest friends or my family members, you know, but like, you know, I spent a lot of like my first like 12 years of tattooing, just traveling, you know, and just kind of doing my own thing. And like, I had this kind of, fantasy in my head of being this like kind of like, I roam the earth with a tat machine and I just do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And like, with as little as possible, all I need is a suitcase and I'm just going to keep this moving. And like, now that's so far from what I want.
Yeah.
You know, like that still was cool to do, but like, it's so far from what I want. And time is one of those things that it's so precious and it's like, you're never going to get it back once you waste it, you know? So like all you can do now is like, now I have to like double down on that with the time that I do have and be more intentional, you know, be way more intentional with like the way that I choose to spend my days, the things that I choose to stress about, the things that I choose to like keep within my circle that are either going to add or remove life to it, you know?
You said that perfectly, because I feel that comes with like maturity as well. And when you notice like what you said about that first 12 years, of like I can almost guarantee you felt like that flew by in a flash.
Like in a flash, bro.
And now you're like taking every second and every minute and making it count and choosing the things that are either going to fulfill you or drain you.
Yeah. And
that's what's important.
So you know what you don't want.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So are you able to say exactly what you want?
Absolutely.
Tell us.
Absolutely. I mean, all I want out of my life now is love, family, and true human connection, you know, like with the people that I love and care about, you know, like being there for like, man, having a kid and seeing your parents get older have a huge effect on you.
Yeah.
You know, like it starts putting you in like, oh man, that's the beginning. And this is when it starts getting towards the end. And then all of a sudden, like your life starts getting way more like, oh shit, where am I in this? You know, do I have more tomorrows than I have yesterdays? Or do I have less tomorrows than I've had yesterdays, you know, left in my life?
Yeah. You know,
how do I make the most out of this now?
You know what's really sad, bro, especially in the United States, is that like not a lot of people get to that place where they realize that the thing that's in front of them, the thing that they have been chasing their whole life, is just as empty as the thing that they already acquired. You acquired it, you feel empty. Now you're going to go and find something else. The next goal, you feel empty. But you're finally at a place where you're just like, wait. Maybe life isn't about like all these crazy things. Maybe there's something that I'm not understanding at the moment that I should be pursuing. Something that's more true than money, something that's more true than acquisitions or business or whatever it may be. And you're at the point where you're starting to not be distracted anymore. You slowed down your life, no longer distracted by these shiny objects that are completely hollow. And now you're looking and asking like, what exactly, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you found it. You're saying that relationships, are a big part of that. I agree with that. Actually,
huge.
A relationship is.
There's like the relationship that you have with yourself, you know, where you feel, and that's like when you're alone in a room and you're like, I'm completely feel great in my own skin and being right here. I don't need anything to change, you know, when you feel so comfortable. And then the relationship with you have, you know, with the closest people to you, whether that be a partner in life, you know, whether that be, you know, your kids, whether that be your parents, whatever, you know, but the people closest to you, like if those things are, if you water those plants, they will grow and give you shade later. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really, really important. And as time has passed, I've realized how much I was a very selfish guy, you know? I kind of just only thought about my own personal conquests and acquisitions, you know?
Yeah.
And over time, you start really kind of panning out of your, you know, your frame. Sometimes you're closed up just on you. And then you're like, oh, wait, there's all these people around me. There's everything going on. And you're like, oh man, I got to worry about so much more.
Yeah.
And that's just growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think that that's one of the biggest issues that we have in the States is that we have so much and we're so distracted by so much that's happening in front of us. We never actually get to be introspective and get to see life for what it is.
Facts.
My dad's old. My kid's young. Like, what is this? What is this life that I'm living? That's hard to ask. And that's hard to get to a point where you could sit down at night and be like, yeah, I'm actually not going to distract myself. I'm going to force myself to think this through and see what comes out of it. Man, I commend you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a time, you know? I commend the people that are like, I've met people that are like, you know, 20 something years old and they already have their mind right, you know?
Maybe.
I'm 40 something years old. So if you're hearing this and you're just like, God damn, I'm 50. It doesn't matter where it's at. Yeah. As long as one day it clicks and as long as one day you're willing to do something about it, then I hope that this message helps you in some way. Yeah. You know, I had a DM from someone the other day saying that they were a fan of the podcast. I think it was like Yo Hey Inc. If maybe I'm getting this wrong, sorry, but thanks for listening. And they told me that they listen to the podcast every day. And they had just turned 50. And that they said that they were putting together a portfolio and that they wanted to go get an apprenticeship because they wanted a tattoo. And that they're like, I have kids, and like I also want to show my kids that if you have a dream, that you should try to chase it no matter what. And I was like, damn, dude, that's like dope.
I like that.
You know, I
like that.
I was like, dude, that's like what I want to do. He's like, you know, and like I didn't know how to go about it, and I found you guys' podcasts, and I've heard so much about it that it's like I'm getting more respect for it, and like I want to do it the right way. And I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's all you got to do, man.
You know, sometimes a lot of people think they're like, just like, you know, because like when you start getting into like an older age group, that, you know, there might be maybe some sort of like a pride thing where you don't want to be influenced or motivated or like, you know, by like somebody who's way younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've always been like there's a lot of young cats out there that continue to inspire us, you know, and that could be like, you know, damn, I'm a 60-year-old person, but I've had this dream, and you know what? I'm just going to set everything aside and I'm just going to chase it. That's like, you know, all power to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's, you know, it can happen at any age. You know what I mean? And maybe that guy starts off and he just starts crushing it. Yeah. You know, like if he's been doing it for years. And so you never know. I think that's
for that inspiring guy, you know, like I want to bring up like Bob Tyrell, who started tattooing late. Yeah. He was like almost 40 years old.
40?
Yeah.
And everybody,
takes a lot of humility.
And everybody, when and he just took off running. And then everybody in the industry just saw his talent, and he was just a big name, well respected. Everybody knew him, and people aspired to be like him.
Yeah, that's cool. Absolutely.
You know? Yes. I mean, David was talking about we was talking about something this morning, but you know, he was like, age really doesn't matter. Like if you're 40 and you decided, right, but you have to make the decision to do it, right? Like it's not just
you don't get to try it.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, I'm dabbing my foot in this, right? Like, like if you made the choice and you're at that age to, you know, to do something, go do it. Go chase after, you know, but you have to, you know, go all in on it and make it work. Yeah.
Essentially, what I was talking to a younger brother in my fraternity. God bless his soul. He's 24 years old, man. Prime time to
chase
head down, right? Work.
Yeah.
Work your butt off. By the time you're 30, you should be running laps around me and everybody else. But the issue with it is that I feel like, and I really hope he doesn't take shade on this, but I feel like men nowadays have a really hard time growing up. And I'm not entirely sure why our culture is like this. I know that back in the day, you know, your dad was probably a grown man at 16, right? Like he just thought like that. I moved out of my house and I had to go find it by myself and I had a kid at 19 and you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of people we used to be. Now you can be, you know, 25, 26, 27 and still not have your feet cemented on the ground, like exactly where you're supposed to be. And so my biggest advice to just young men in this case, I would say, you're done having potential. Go do the thing that you need to do.
Right.
It's no longer you have 5 different avenues that you're really good at and you have potential in those 5. You're one person and you can only do one thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, strap your boots on, put your pants on, choose. In the same way that you would choose like a woman in a marriage, you choose and you stop looking to the side.
Yeah.
And you move as hard as you can forward. If unfortunately let's say you're 30 and you didn't get the opportunity to choose. Yes, it's a little bit more difficult, but there's a little less shame than if you were 40. If you're 40 and you're choosing, and you finally woke up and at 40 you're choosing, it's gonna be really hard to be, you know, the loser of the shop that's cleaning after people or whatever it may be. It's hard. It takes a lot of humility. But you can do it.
Real humble, you can still do it.
If you're really humble, you can still choose, marry the craft, whatever craft. It doesn't have to just be tattooing.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Marry the craft, but choose.
Yeah.
Because if you don't choose, you're never going to become. You're always just going to have potential, and potential at 40, you're a loser, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, what you're saying, dude, I feel like one of the biggest reasons why people stop wanting to do apprenticeships is because they realize that the entry level was humility.
That's all.
In order to get in, you're going to have to be humble. And so people are like,
I don't want to be humble.
I'm not trying to be humble and be handed.
Well, that's because we're definitely living in that just in that point in society where I hate to say this. I hope people don't take it the wrong way, but people overvalue themselves. Their entitlement is through the roof. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a firm believer in that you're not born with the value. You have to build the value.
You build it over time.
You do it with purpose and with intent. And I feel like every human being and every life is wasted if you don't have a purpose. I feel like we all should have a purpose, and that purpose should drive you in excelling in something. Mm-hmm. And making something of yourself, because just to exist and just, you know, not grow up, like you said, not grow up, you know, and not just like put your boots on and like go out there in the world and just be. Yeah. Not
like this fuzzy potential, like I could possibly be the best at all these things. No, be an electrician, be a tattoo artist, be a mechanic. You can't do all those things.
And commit to it. Whatever you choose, commit.
Yeah.
Commit to what you choose to do.
Yeah.
It's responsibility at the end of the day.
Correct.
How do you pull clean lines? You commit to that line.
Commit to that line. Yeah.
Love it.
You gotta commit to that line. That's how they're clean and good, because you learn to commit to it, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shit, you know, for a tattooer who could pull some good lines, I had terrible commitment issues back in the day. I'm better now, but I did have some back.
Hey, man, praise God, dude.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That's great.
I think, dude, with young people nowadays, dude, it's a fact that they see so much of the finished product, right? Like online, they see the successful person off the rip. You know, they don't see like the hard work behind it.
Yeah.
So they always feel like that's unattainable because they don't get to see the awkward stage of either like no painting looks perfect from the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like it may have some awkward stages before it starts coming together, you know?
You have to commit through that.
Yeah.
You know, when it's ugly.
When people are learning to play an instrument, dude, they sound like shit forever, dude, until they nail it, dude.
They don't see the heartbreak, the struggle, the sleepless nights, the not being able to close your eyes just because you're just like constantly obsessing about the process, how hard something may be. But that's what builds you up, and that's the beauty of it. And unfortunately, like human life equates with human suffering, and suffering comes in many different forms. You know, and we just cannot
Can't avoid it.
We can't avoid it, and you don't build yourself without some suffering. Suffering can mask itself in many ways. Like like you said, people focus on the end product, the win, right? But they don't realize how many losses it took to finally get that win.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't know how to lose anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big. I think social media plays in that a bunch, dude. I mean, Instagram, right? Like nobody's gonna ever post their loss or when they're down bad.
Yeah.
So we always have an image of this is perfect. This is how it should be, right? Or whatever it is. So now that people are getting into a craft, whatever it is, I think anything when you first start off, you're gonna be bad at it.
You're bad.
Yeah, and it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, you're also gonna be at the lowest of the totem pole, right? Like you're not gonna be the boss when you first enter a company, right?
Yeah,
like
you're gonna be the worst.
Yeah. But I think because people post, what they view as perfect, we tend to only see that, and I mean, I guess other people do it too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that is somebody that I like to tell that story quite often. When Dat first came into the shop, I was only just finishing my apprenticeship. And I looked at his work and I was like, this is hot garbage. Do not hire this guy.
Damn.
This is so bad. It's so bad.
You're gonna hire this guy?
Yo, for real. I was like, you sure? But no, he had somebody that really advocated for him.
Yeah.
But you know what advocated for him the most is his determination to put his head down and work.
Yeah.
By the time he finished his apprenticeship, his drawings look so much better than it did. Not because, we're such great teachers. No, this man worked his back off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he was drawing like regularly. He was studying people. He would watch me study. I don't want to give myself too much credit here, but stop me if I am. He would watch me study other people and he would take notes of how I would be studying people. And then I would see him implement that on his own. He didn't take much for granted when he was at work at all. So now you're looking at his work and you see, whoa, this guy's really amazing. And like, you wouldn't think that he was this bad. Like some of my favorite artists are the people that were so bad and can show you within a couple of years how much they've improved and how much better they can be than the people around them just because they worked their backs off. You want to talk about it a little bit? Because
for sure. My background, I was at the high school. I was in art high school, but I never really took the step to take art seriously. Yeah. Kind of just like lollygagging in art class. Did enough to pass. Also, our art teacher was super old, so she was chill. So you could kind of draw anything.
Do whatever you want. She'd be like,
dude, that looks great. But yeah, never took art seriously. And then after high school, I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I didn't want to go to college. I knew that I think I would have wasted my time there. But I was like, what am I interested in right now? So at that time, I was working on cars. So I committed to that. Went to trade school for it. Ended up working at a dealership for a little. It just didn't turn out the way I planned. Yeah. So, you got to pivot. And then I went to the serving industry and slowly, I think honestly, everybody around me was like, oh, why don't you try out tattooing? And I think at this time,
did people see your drawings at the time already or?
Yeah, I had close friends knew that I was fairly creative and I was always if it was a piece of paper there, I'm doodling on it. So I think that's what they saw and they're pushing me to do it more and more. Yeah. But I had no knowledge of this industry, dude. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't have no tattoos, right? So at 18, I went to get my tattoo and I was like, dude, this is sick. We're going into a shop, people creating, and they're kind of just hanging out, right? How we are right here, hanging out, talking. And I was like, I like this, man. Let me see what else I can find out. So I booked a couple more sessions, and I asked my artist.
That's the wave. That's the wave.
Questions, and I was like, yo, how would a normal guy even start, right? How would somebody just get into this field? He was like, go get an apprenticeship. He was like, build a portfolio. And that's when I was like, dang, I don't have nothing. And I have like all my old work, high school stuff, middle school stuff. Like,
They were so nice to you, bro. I would have been like, you don't. We're full.
yeah. I didn't know.
You're like,
What do they call you? What do they call you?
Gatekeeper gate. Be holding that gate locked.
Yeah, bro.
You'd be like, hey man, how can I get an apprenticeship? Well,
You don't.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, dream
So,
crusher.
He was like, yeah, go get an apprenticeship, have a good portfolio. And honestly, I didn't know what a good portfolio was, right?
what did it even mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess a portfolio, just put all your art together. And I put everything that I had into a portfolio, try to make it as organized as I can, showed up. But like David said, he was getting out of his apprenticeship and there was another apprentice, which is Andy. Shout out to Andy.
Yeah, shout out to Andy.
Man, I owe her my life, dude. Like, she put in a good word for me.
Yo.
And bro, like, she was like, man, we're not really like looking for another like artist right now. We technically don't have room, you know. But she was like, let me see what I can do. So I think she just nagged my mentor, you know, that taught me, and she was just like, yo, you should hire this dude. Like, he has good work ethic. But I came in, showed her my portfolio.
That's important.
Yeah, and I didn't get like, you know, crazy like feedback, and so I knew, right? So I was like, man, they probably thought this thing was trash.
They're like,
right?
they looked at it, they're like,
yeah.
But we can work on it.
Yeah, it was
But we
never
can
like
work on it.
Yeah.
This is great.
they was like, oh, this is awesome. They were just like,
yep.
Well.
yeah.
What?
You know what? You know what's crazy though too? It's just like I may joke about the the whole like the gates closed, like kick rocks, but at the same time, like the way that I was let in also because you can kind of just tell when an individual is like, you know what, we're gonna give this person a chance. Like there's always something about somebody, right?
True. Yeah.
Sometimes they have like a drive, a work ethic, just something about them that you can sense that you're like, we're gonna pass on the knowledge to this person, or just like we're gonna give the opportunity here.
Yeah.
And sometimes the door opens up for you and sometimes the door just slams right in your face, but you always kind of like have to self-reflect. And some people just don't take no for an answer. And that's also a good thing. True. People that don't give up and they have that drive. And then they finally, guess what? After 10 doors, one of them is going to be unlocked.
Yeah.
And some people just give up way too easy. And they're just like, oh, those freaking old heads that don't want, we'd be like,
you know what?
It's our fault.
They're
It's
just
everybody
being
else's fault.
gatekeepers. I'm gonna start my own
yeah,
shop.
I'm going to open up a shop.
That's how it's gonna go. They're like,
1 in 10 may work.
I'm going to have plants everywhere and no art on the walls. I'm just kidding. I mean, if that's your aesthetic and you're crushing it, I'm just making fun and poking fun. But
we have a lot of plants too. Don't worry.
yeah, we love plants.
We love plants.
Yeah.
But for sure, like, even if you don't, if you try to go get an apprenticeship and somebody looks at your portfolio and says, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask
good
them
feedback.
why.
Yeah.
If they're willing to say, no, this is not good.
Yeah.
Ask them why. If they're willing to say that, then you got an opportunity, my boy.
Yeah.
That means they care enough.
They care enough.
They care enough. They could have just sent you out the door.
They were like,
That's right.
not right now.
Yeah.
Here you go. And just buy.
Dude, that's facts, bro.
Yeah.
That is so true.
That'd be worst case, dude. But if somebody's willing to tell you at least what you can work on.
No, not only that, there's so much humility coming from the person saying that you're just like, you're not getting the feedback that you expected, but at the same time, you're like, you're humble enough to be like, okay, explain to me, how can I do better?
Yeah.
Or like, why is it not that? And I feel like that shows a lot. Like even somebody, if you ask, like if I just like destroy somebody's portfolio and I'm like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not good.
Yeah.
And then they ask me, well, okay, how could I make it better? Like, what do you see in it that, like, you know what I mean? That already lets me know that you're the type of person that wants to improve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that are walking around out there looking for tattooing as a form of getting into a craft. But they already think their shit don't stink.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
And that's
absolute worst.
exactly what I don't want.
Yeah.
Coming into this.
You won't get better.
Yeah.
You just won't get better. I think
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that one of my biggest, I guess, criticisms for any artist that comes in through the doors of my shop is like, show me a portfolio, and if I absolutely need to see from beginning to end where you started in the season of your drawing life to where you are at, and if there's no improvement at all, I want to ask you why you're not improving. I already know the answer. You're not drawing enough. You're not studying enough. You don't care about this enough. You don't actually love it.
Right.
All those things can be true.
Correct.
But if I look at you in your face and I ask you, how can you improve, and you think you're good, you are not going to do well.
If they go, well, that's just my style, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I do it. Then I'll be like,
It's not going to work because
that's just my style, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
you're too good. You're too good for our shop. You should be traveling to Italy and having shows in museums right now. Like,
Bruh.
what are you doing in my shop?
Yeah.
You're too good.
We can't handle you, baby. You gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you're shining too bright. You're shining too
Might
bright.
take my business.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, man.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, all that, it's just you can see it in a person. I think.
Yeah.
I try to give myself credit and like I'm a good reader of people, 80% of
That's
the
good.
time.
80% is pretty high. Yeah.
80%. I'm be realistic.
Like realistic.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong many times, but I think that's like one of my gifts. Like I can meet a person, and within 15 seconds, I can feel that if someone is like either talented or authentic or just I'm gonna like this person / or dislike them, I can immediately, know if I can trust somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full empath, this guy.
Yeah. We call that the gift of discernment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we like to call it.
Yeah. Apparently you can protect a whole lot of people like that.
I think so.
Keep the snakes at bay, right?
Yeah.
Keep the psychos away.
Dude. But yeah, and there's just like back to what we were touching base in the beginning, and it's just like there's a lot of people that they just think that, when people give them negative criticism, that people around them are just constantly hating, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it. It's
the worst is when you, with all your heart, give a criticism that's not even negative. It's just to build upon what they're already doing, and then they turn it around you and look at your work and be like, it's like, bro. Usually, if I'm giving that, I'm not giving it to somebody that has a career that I desire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm usually giving it to somebody that I want to see them do well.
Do well, yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see them come up.
right.
But the ego just doesn't allow for people to receive a gift without them turning it into a weapon and trying to get back at you. And I'm like,
Correct.
that's crazy because that was not even the initial intent. And it wasn't a negative from the beginning. And it has happened multiple times in my career. People won't receive it, man. They won't receive it, especially if they're not in that mindset.
Bro, that happens in so many aspects of life.
Yeah.
The ability to take accountability.
It's the
Oh man.
The A word.
Dude. The ability
People hate that.
to just take it.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
it's hard for a lot of people, man.
yeah.
If you could either be at work and you tell somebody like, hey, and then they're telling you all of the reasons why they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Or they respond with, I know, instead of listening and be like, I could see that, once you get that quick, like defensive, like, oh, I know. I'd be like, you don't know.
You don't know, obviously.
You don't know.
That's already the wrong way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's like a characteristic trait kind of thing.
It is a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
What are they protecting? Their ego.
Their ego.
Yeah.
They're protecting the ego that they built themselves.
So I feel like when you go into a space that you're new, right? Even if the person is a year ahead of you, like they still have a year ahead of you. Like, why would you?
Bro,
like,
but this happens even in relationships.
Yeah,
You ever dated someone and you tell them something that's making you unhappy, you know, about the relationship, and their response
before.
but their response immediately is, but you do this. They don't even listen to what you said.
Nope.
They don't even listen to what you said and make you feel heard. Their immediate response is to try to say something that you did that made
too.
them. And then it's a loop.
yeah.
And then nobody grows because nobody's hearing anybody.
Right.
Nobody understands anybody.
Nobody's understanding anybody.
And no one's taking accountability.
It always goes back to that, dude. Every time, man.
Oh man.
Got to include that in the beginning of the episode. Accountability.
episode.
The new theme song.
What is the one that goes? Oh, I forget. There's one that's really good. I don't know if it's the
Oh,
accountability.
Accountability.
That's really
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it right there. An impossible thing for somebody that is not in touch with who they are.
yeah, man. I mean, like,
Facts. Wow.
I watched a video of like these students. I don't know if it was in an Asian country, and they were all doing like beautiful like life drawings in like charcoal, and then the person that was grading them was grading them so fast. And he would just see it and he would just immediately just circle right on top on the whatever was like off or not good. And if you passed or failed. And it was just like, next.
Get out.
It was just, yeah, dude, it's right on top of the drawing you worked on, dude. Just like, next.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Work.
Go get back to it. Go do it again. Yeah. Go do it again.
Trash.
But it's like, dude, in my mind, I was like, dude, some kid would cry.
Oh, yeah. American hearts can't take that.
Nah, dude.
No.
Yeah.
They need a soft landing. They
Need a compliment sandwich.
dude.
Compliment sandwich.
Compliment sandwich, dude.
Yeah.
I learned that in America. Compliment
Yeah.
sandwich.
I hate how that sandwich tastes.
I know what you really mean.
Yeah. I'm like, your sandwich is full of sauce. You know, but
Where's the meat?
yeah, where's the meat? You know, get to the meat.
Yeah.
For real. But it's, I feel like that's when you have like either a tough apprenticeship, tough mentors that are willing to give it to you straight.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
willing to be a good listener and just take it.
Yeah.
That's how you get the most improvement.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
all that shit comes out of love, man.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no
Yeah.
reason to be defensive, bro. Like we're in a space where like we want everybody to win.
Yeah.
Why would we try to knock you? We're trying to make you successful in this career, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
why would we sit here and try to knock you down? I guess like maybe like some people have like bad experiences or whatever, but in general, I think like everybody is should build everybody up. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a good mentor to apprentice like relationship. It's kind of like, I mean, I compare it to like almost like parenthood because I have
Yeah.
kids, right? And it's just like, it's like the people you love, it's like in comparison with like a parent that's totally slack with their kids, always encouraging them, never telling them how they either did wrong or, they can do no wrong. And they usually grow up to be shitheads in society, as opposed to somebody that's willing to give the discipline and the tough love, because it's much harder to do that.
Yeah.
And it shows that you care that much more. Why? Because you're trying to mold this person to be better than you. And you want to see them succeed, sometimes even more than you, because they're an example.
Yeah.
They become an example of either your teachings, your mentorship, your fatherhood, motherhood, like your success as a mentor, as a teacher, as a guardian, you see it in them. So people that actually care are going to give you the hard truths.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you where you effed up, where you're on the right path and what to do, to do better. But like I said, ego might get in the way and you're just never going to grow if you can't take criticism, if you can't take the words of what I call love from somebody who cares. And most people who care are going to tell you the truth. There's people confuse like encouragement, and especially a lot of like false encouragement by like people who consider their friends, or, you know, and I feel like a lot of people just fluff people up.
Yeah.
Because we're living in this society of like, oh, we're just constantly complimenting each other and never doing criticizing because we don't want to make anyone feel bad, and it's all based on feelings, and you know, and it's it's tough to navigate that, you know, because at the same time you don't want to hurt feelings, but sometimes you got to tell somebody that you care about the truth, whether that's somebody like your apprentice and you want to see them improve, and you're just like, dude, to be honest with you, like that tattoo you did yesterday, dude, I mean, it sucked. You know, and that person probably worked really hard on that tattoo, but I'm still going to give it to you straight. But then I'm also going to like, be like, okay, this is what you could have done better, and try to like build you up. Like, it's almost like destroying, but you don't leave somebody destroyed.
Yeah.
You don't just leave somebody as like burnt ashes. You tell them, okay, this is how you become the phoenix from this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, most people who genuinely care will do that. But a lot of people will still take that criticism and just be obliterated by it and be like, oh yeah, I freaking hate this person. They're a hater, or they quit or something like that. But you know.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, two things happen, right? Like, you know, you give the criticism, it already takes a little bit of braveness or courage. It takes a little bit of courage from even a mentor to say something, right? Because you don't want to waste your criticism, like, which are important words all the time. You want to be very specific on the times that you're giving criticism, because otherwise
too much becomes less powerful.
Goes over their head, right? So it does take courage to figure out which moment is going to be important, or which time, when am I going to choose my battles? Okay, today I'm going to choose my battle. And you go and you pull the person aside and say, hey, like, when approaching the situation, I think it's best that you do it this way. Let me tell you why. If you do not receive that, and you're a grown person, I'm talking to a 20-year-old, you're a grown man or a grown woman, and you do not receive that courage that I had, you just toss it in the trash. I'm so much less likely to come to you next time and tell you something that is going to be a gem to you, and because you just threw it in the mud.
Correct.
That has happened before. Yeah. You know, you say something, you basically get spit in your face, and then eventually you're just like, I am no longer interested in helping this person, even if I'm not the mentor.
Right. Because you're giving free game. Right. Yeah, I'm giving you free 99 game right now. Yeah. And you threw it in the trash. I'm going to keep my game.
Yeah. That's right. Be like, all right.
It costs money, bro. All right. People are paying thousands of dollars flying to different parts of the country just to hear the nonsense that not me specifically, but maybe I picked it up from flying elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like
maybe you took that seminar and paid that money to learn that shit.
That same thing that I'm telling you, that costs money.
Oh yeah.
And so, be very careful with your ego, guys. Be very careful. You might find yourself in a place where something very valuable is given to you, but because your ego, you will never receive it again. It just is.
It's the one thing that holds a lot of people back, man. I mean, like, I'm a victim of that, you know, in different parts of my life, you know, whether, you know, either I was too afraid of what could be said, you know, because I didn't want to hurt my little fragile ego at one point or another, you know? Right. Because that you have to overcome that. You have to be willing to take a little bit of shit and just not get flustered, because you're just it's just a moment. It will pass.
Oof.
That will pass, dude. Like, somebody will tell you something that hurts your feelings. That's just a moment. It will pass. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to keep growing, keep moving ahead.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Dude, and sometimes you get like, you're given like these like pearls, right? Which are like pearls of criticism. And then you can take that and use it as fuel. And then you kind of like add it as like a goal. Like, damn, I got to prove myself. Like I'm not where I'm at. I got to prove myself. You know, like when I first started tattooing, you know, fresh out of my apprenticeship, I remember working for a street shop. And shout out to my buddy Ian, like funny little stories when I started working at that street shop, and I was really trying to like, you know, get my elbows dirty and like really like get in the grind and like and I feel like a good like walk-in street shop, it worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me as far as like getting good at many techniques and just like really learning a lot about like my tools, like machines, about equipment, different needles and stuff, working at a street shop, because we were just churning out tattoos, you know, and you were tattooing like all walks of life. You're getting thrown curveballs everywhere, you know, you're not just drawing what you're comfortable with and then tattooing those things. Like people are coming off the street for script, for like religious praying hands, like rosary beads, like some traditional stuff here, some like a little bit of like realism there, you know, like just anything, right? Anything, little flowers, just anything. And I remember coming to the shop, and he's now my friend, my buddy Ian, he looked through my portfolio, and he was the owner of the shop. And he looked through my portfolio and he goes, all right, well, it looks like you can draw and you got a couple like decent tattoo photos here, but I'm gonna be real honest with you, Gabe. You see all of us back here in the tattoo shop? He's like, man, we're up here and you are way down here.
He gave it to you real.
He gave it to, like real. But he's like, but we're gonna give you a chance, man. But you better catch up, Gabe. You better catch up.
Fuel.
Yeah. Just like that. Like tough as hell.
You can get in this door real quick.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah.
That's a big favor.
Yeah. Like, we're going to give you a trial, but you better like catch on real quick, you know? And let me tell you, man, that was like, either that can destroy you or like really motivate you. And for me, it was, man, like, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to fit in.
Yeah.
And to do my best so that I can gain respect, because respect was also very important to me in that time. And I learned as much as I can. I humbled myself. I even thought during that time that like my script was good. And at one time he goes, hey man, you know what? Let me see how good you are at script. Write out this word. And I forgot what the word was, you know, to this day, but I'm sure I can find the drawing somewhere if I really wanted to. And then he goes, and he made me do it in front of him. And he looked at it after I was done, you know, I'm there like tongue out, like,
look at my filigree.
Yeah. And I'm just like thinking like, cause I was like, oh, I learned cursive when I was in elementary school. And I remember just doing it, and he looks at it and he just goes, oh, man. He was like, this is trash, dude. And I was like, oh man, you know, I was like I said, it was fuel for me. You know, some people are a little bit gentler.
Yeah.
Like, shout out Ian, dude. You helped a lot. Yeah. But he also tore me down, but then he gave me like
That's
the secrets. Where he was just like, man, look, this is how you do it. You know, you draw out this grid. You're going to want to like, you know, you're too tight when you're doing this. You got to just be a little bit looser, and then tightness comes, you know, and he's just like, you got to like loosen up. You got to see the grid, and then you're just going to be doing script where you don't even need the grid no more and stuff like that. So he broke me down and destroyed me, but also gave me the tools to help build me back up in certain little techniques here and there.
Even just that bit, just giving you of like, this is the way you're going to build structure to something. I think that's one of the biggest things. I had somebody showed me a drawing portfolio, and I could tell that they didn't build any structure on anything they ever drew ever. They were just drawing like off the rip. Like they had never drawn like a form.
Right.
To just like draw basic shapes to create.
Boxing
like,
some shapes.
Correct.
Create.
Because that's the same thing on how you're going to learn how to draw a hand, or you're going to draw script. You're going to learn to draw basic clean shapes, have a consistency, etc. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, man, if once your brain starts learning how to learn, right? And you're like, oh man, I can apply it in so many things.
And I didn't take that in like, was it ego crushing? Absolutely. Because even at that point, you know, like I could always draw when I was little, right? And throughout like elementary, middle school, like, you know, I was always very proficient at drawing and designing. So I always got like a lot of compliments, maybe a little too many compliments. So that when I finally got to a point where somebody was just like, yo, you're not even close, B. Like, you're not even close. To hear that and be like, I took it as like, damn, like, he's right.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh, this guy's a hater. And, you know, like, I was able to just like set my ego aside and just be realistic about the situation and be like, damn, he's right. And there is a difference between my stuff and his stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not an idiot. I can visually see them, you know?
That's the part that blows my mind sometimes. Sometimes I see people posting things or just like, they'll show you something and they're like, you know that this is not good. Like, you know this is not good.
And they think it's good.
But they think it's really good.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm wondering, right? Do they really themselves think?
Do they really believe this?
Like, are they really believing in themselves like that?
I don't know.
Be like, I don't know. Like,
They probably don't have like a lot of people telling them anything, right? Like, so they think everything is a pass.
could be.
You have to have moments where like you're like, I can do better for sure, right? Like, and it takes good people around you to be. It takes good people, but also it takes, you know, yourself to be like, I can always do better. And like, I can always take advice from somebody that's more experienced, or even honestly, even sometimes people that, you know, are less experienced, whatever field it is, but somebody always have something to give, right? But like we always say, because people ego get in the way, and it kind of destroys that. But I have a moment like kind of like yours, but it's with David. I don't know if he remembers, but I think this was my first year of tattooing. And dude, I'm hyped, right? I'm getting to put like needle to skin, ink to skin, and I did like this little like lady face kind of thing, and I was hyped about it. I was like, cool, dude, I tattooed this girl. This thing looked dope. And then I think David was like, oh, what did you do today? And then I showed him, and then he was like, oh, you forgot the lips, as in like I forgot to like shade the lip part. And then I was like, dang, I was so hyped, and I was like,
oh man, but like,
dang. Like, damn, I did forget to do this.
But yeah, I mean, in general, I think there's always room for improvement, right? Like, you guys are way ahead of, you know, your careers, and you're way more experienced than me, but I'm sure you feel the same way. You're still learning, man.
You're still learning.
Oh man,
still figuring things out, man.
Yeah, I'm still
always
figuring
a
things
student
out.
of the game, right? Yeah.
One thing
even now
that was a really good lesson early on was to slow down and take my time, and that no matter what tattoo I was doing, to try to make sure that it was as good as I could possibly make it, dude.
Yep. At that point in time.
And then over the years, I worked in many shops with a lot of people, and there's so many artists that I've met, people that have been tattooing for 15 years, who still don't know that, to just slow down and take their time. They just think of like, they still have like the mentality of like, I'm just here to knock things out.
Yeah. Very street shop, very much like,
right,
we need the next client in right now.
But the thing is that as time has passed, you know, that's not how shops move anymore.
No, not at all, dude.
That's not the point.
Yeah, you're done.
know?
The industry has changed so much, right? I mean, you guys have been in street shops, so you guys probably would know, right? You know, banging things out, like people coming in, getting like, oh, this is what I
definitely
want. Like, you know, sticker kind of thing. But now, dude, people do research. People do like, you know, flying across the country, and like because we have social media now, it's like, they want your work.
Yeah.
So like, oh, you gotta give them your best.
They want something special.
Yeah. You gotta give them your best. You know, so. Yeah, it's a very different time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys would agree with the statement I'm about to make. This isn't like a knock at anyone who's a street shop tattooer right now.
Not at all.
Because there's some street shop killers out there.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Like killing it. I mean, you throw anything at them, and not only are they quick, but they got the speed because of the experience. And they're still pulling clean lines, incredible saturation. The speed is there because I feel like they were able to just navigate under the atmosphere and the circumstances that they got their experience in, and they're just killing it, right? Like clean tattoos, beautiful tattoos, and like there's something to be said about that. But there's definitely, like you said, there's people that are just like, they just don't care. It's just another human. It's like, you know, it's just like
next.
It's just like pulling the lever, like next.
Well, I wouldn't even say that they don't care. I think they do care, but it's a matter of like, they're no longer pushing themselves to try to like,
Sure.
you know, like you're Gabe. G Money's one of those dudes that no matter what tattoo he's doing, it's always one of the cleanest tattoos I've ever seen.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know
Working on it.
You know? That's kind of what it is. It's like every time you do it, no matter what you're doing, you're like, I'm trying to do the cleanest tattoo, the best tattoo, because then that person feels that. They know how much you cared. Even if it was like a tiny little tattoo.
Absolutely.
They can still sense like, oh man, that person really took care and like try to make this be as good as they could for me, and it's going to be marked on me forever. And those are the people that are going to come back to you or refer people to you.
Oh, dude, real talk.
I don't understand the idea of like trying to get somebody off your chair as quick as possible, because the least that they stay on your chair, the less time you have to connect with them, to know anything about them, to give them a really, really good tattoo.
A good experience.
A good experience.
Yeah.
You know, if they
they'll
come and go too fast, that shit happens so fast. They don't even know, like,
oh man,
you know, like, oh, who did that? I don't know, dude. I was out of there like 2 minutes. This one guy at that one shop.
I mean,
like,
2 minutes.
A lot of people,
dude. It was like 2 minutes, bro.
dude. A lot of people will make like, you know, like I said, they do like exceptional work and they focus on one style and they're just amazing at it. And people find them because they're like, oh, I connect with that guy's work. But then there's also the other side where some people will come in, like, let's say somebody's crushing a walk-in tattoo, right? And you just pull off like a beautiful, clean, awesome walk-in tattoo. And that tiny tattoo grows into like, oh, I actually want to get a sleeve from you now. And I know that you can also do that style. And then all of a sudden that one little like script name that you did, sentimental tattoo that took you 15 minutes, but it's the cleanest tattoo they have. And then all of a sudden they check out the rest of your portfolio and your work and they liked your attitude, the experience.
And now you're tatting their whole family.
And now you're tatting the whole family, dude. Exactly how you said it. And that's one of the joys of tattooing for me.
It's funny that you say that. I think the smaller tattoos take me forever. I am a faster tattoo artist depending on what it is that I'm doing.
You're pretty fast.
If I go into like stipple work, it'll take me 3 days. But like if I'm doing like my regular, like I don't have to look at any references. I know, like for example, that snake, I was able to do it because
on the ribs, dude.
It's like it scales. So like I can get those done. You know what I mean? But if I have to do a lettering, bro, give me an hour and a half. I have to take every second of this because I want to make you have to lock in. Make it good because it still has to be good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I did want to go back to something that you said, and I feel like I don't want people to miss this, yo. When people are broken down and they see just a glimmer of hope, it's a big deal. There's a lot of people that come into the industry, and I've seen it firsthand. They come into the industry knowing already that they're never going to reach their mentors like height, knowing already that the people that they admire, they're always going to admire them and never be par to par with them. What your person, like the shop owner told you is like, I'm expecting you to catch up.
Yeah.
That expectation can build somebody up so much because they're saying it's like, I see you as who you are right now, but that's not the end of it. You're supposed to, rise up to the occasion. You're supposed to reach me. You're supposed to pass me.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I am garbage, but I have an entire journey ahead of me that if I do the right thing, I will be who I'm supposed to be in this industry. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. If somebody that's way better than you looks at you and says like, I'm waiting on you, that's sick, bro. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest buildup you can possibly get. I have an apprentice here right now. I'm 100% expecting him to run circles around me. If he does not tattoo,
he better
and spend time and do all these things, then all my time is wasted.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you were mentored by someone and you hope to be a better mentor to someone else than your mentor was to you.
Yeah. And so on.
Just like how you want to be like, like I want to be like my parents were good to me. I want to be even better to my kids one day.
Yeah.
Same thing as a mentor. Like, you want to be like, if your mentor was a fucking asshole, you're like, I don't want to be that much of an asshole, but I still want to be able to teach those lessons without being an asshole.
Right.
Like
you should still be able to learn something.
Exactly. You should still be able to teach things and figure out how to do it.
Figure them out.
Yeah. That little glimmer though, that just small word does so much, bro. And they use it like, I don't know. This might derail the conversation a little bit, but they use it in video games. They use it in storytelling, in movies. You see that this person sucks at the end, at the very beginning of their journey, but there's a very clear picture of who they are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that now you spend the rest of the movie, the rest of the game, the rest of whatever, seeing what it is that they have to go through in order to reach that person. That's it.
You know what's crazy? It's funny you made the video game reference because I was literally gonna say a reference of like how I personally saw tattooing for myself was like me playing like a From Software game, which is like Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
Where it's just like when you first start off in the game, this game is ridiculously hard, like the Dark Souls series and every game that's kind of like it, because it is very, very punishing, very unforgiving, and you're never ready for the first boss. You get killed time and time and time again. And it's a game that's almost engineered to make you quit and get you mad. But if you have enough drive, if you have enough, you end up getting beat up so much that you get good. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you beat your first boss. There is no greater satisfaction where I've literally screamed with my controller in my hand at the TV being like, that's right. That's right. That's right. What? After like getting smoked.
His
like
wife comes in the room.
Yeah. And she's like, are you okay? Are you okay?
I've been on this for weeks.
And I'm like, and I
Nobody's there to witness it.
Yeah, nobody was there. And I was like, yes.
He's sweating.
Yeah,
Like,
He's like,
yeah, dude.
Goku after he did the fucking.
Yeah, dude. Dude, any of you video game nerds out there, you're gonna catch my drift with that From Software games.
Yeah.
Bro.
Dude, I remember, man, listen, I did 100-hour weeks, 100+ hour weeks during my apprenticeship. I had my T-Mobile job. I had like a little music studio that I had to like take care of and manage like here and there. And then I had my 40+ hours that I had to do at the shop, right? And I would work that like consistently. I remember thinking like, you know what? This doesn't have to be over. I'm just gonna grind it out and go. And I finally got a tattoo machine in my hand. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like
A little closer.
I'm a little bit closer, whatever, da-da-da. And I get to the point where I can now start practicing on people, and they, if you're a decent human being, you see somebody going through that, you're gonna tip them. You know, you're gonna give them $25, maybe $50. I got to that point where I was finally able to tattoo on people. I quit my job, and you know something happened to the music studio that I was no longer able to stay there. That means all I had to do was work on tattooing stuff, and by the end of the month, I remember that I had gotten rid of my car. I moved in with my brother. I ate scraps, basically. All I had to do was accumulate $800 to make life work. And at the end of that month of me tattooing on people for nothing, I ended up making like $1,800. But that's because I was tattooing like an absolute crazy person. Yeah. And I remember I cried. I cried like a baby. And I said to myself like, wow, like, you know, although I was willing to do all this nonsense, although I was willing to put in the hours, get rid of my car, I ended up having like a hoopty with the steering wheel that I had to put I had to work out to drive this car. You know what I mean? This thing had no
power steering.
No power steering. You get what I'm saying? It was tough, man. But like, because it was so tough, it was so rewarding. And having that mentality of just like moving forward, it became kind of easy. Going to conventions, spending like endless hours tattooing for the first like 3 to 4 years was like nothing to me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah. Now I'm a pansy now, so I'm a little bit fancier now. Yeah.
Listen, most of the most like motivating things that like famous writers, painters, like athletes, very like influential people. It's I would bet on everything that the majority is the rags to riches story. Where humble beginnings and people just trying hard.
Putting in that work.
Bro. You know what I mean? Is there like talent out there that's just like right off the rip? Of course.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be wasted if there's zero work.
You still have to work your back off.
You got to work your back off because guess what? The world is filled with talented beasts.
Yes.
I mean, if you think like that's why it's like that ego, you got to just let it go.
Yeah.
Cause there's always going to be somebody faster, somebody smarter, somebody, like everything.
Yeah. And you're going to blame everything but yourself if you just keep looking at them succeed.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm not as pretty as them, or I didn't draw as nicely as them. I don't take as good a picture. It's not my fault. It's Instagram's fault. Instagram keeps rewarding this kind of, no, bro. Get it popping.
Get it popping.
Get it pop. You want this? You love it? Get it popping then.
Get to work.
Yeah. I always tell David, like, I think for me, Instagram is probably the most humbling place for a tattoo artist, because you can see so much, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you see the talent out there, dude. So like sometimes I do a good tattoo. I'm like, dude, this is sick. I open Instagram. Woo, we got a long way to go, man. Like,
I'm being
some people
and then you open up Instagram and then the button.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
You're like, I thought my shit was fired.
It always takes like a week or two to like for your eyes to like lose the sparkles.
Yeah.
And then you look back, it's like, dang, I thought this was hot.
It always, that little meme that's like a drawing, and it's like a girl with her dude in bed, and she's like facing opposite of him, and he's on his phone on the other side,
Right.
and she's like, he's probably looking at
thinking
other girls. And he's like, and if it's a tattooer, he's like, man, I should have did this.
Yeah, like destroying himself.
Dude, just
damn, I missed. There's no eyelashes on that left eye. You're like, oh.
Damn, I should have shaded that lip right there, bro. I should have shaded that lip.
Hey, honey, what you doing? Don't worry about it.
Go there.
Yeah, but when you care, that's how you act.
That's true.
When you care about your work and what you're doing, that's like when, man, if you get a critique and you don't already told yourself all the things that your critique person is giving you, then you're not looking right. Like when somebody critiques you, somebody points things out, you should be like, yep.
Oh yeah, totally. I see that.
And now be like, nah, what I meant was, and then start excusing it. No, just say and you should be able to just absorb, take it.
You also should, like, the action matters too, right? Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, for sure. Like I'll definitely take that next time, right? I feel like I had experiences where like, you tell like a person, you're like, maybe you should try this out. Like this might look better in this way or whatever it is. And then they're like, yeah, for sure, dude. Like that's good advice. The next time they do the same thing, the same piece or whatever it is. And it's just like,
Where'd
you
it go?
didn't take my advice at all, bro. Like,
oh man. Like our eyes are lighting up because we know people like that.
Oh, yeah. There are people like that,
goodness.
bro, right? Like,
you literally
like Jeff Man, bro.
Yeah, you'll have somebody be like, hey man, what do you think about this? And you're like, actually, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You should change that. All right,
cool. I'll take that into consideration. And then they don't take it into consideration. And then they show you the finished product and you're like,
why'd you do that?
What did we just talk about?
Like, I was like,
I literally had a whole seminar with you, basically. I took 2 hours.
Just followed through on what okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, because
why'd you even ask me?
Most of the time tattooing is like, it's repetition, right? So you're bound to get like the same subjects or whatever. So like, let's say a snake, right? Like, like why'd you draw like the scales like this? You try this or whatever it is. And it's like, bro, you didn't take my advice at all.
Like, why?
I talked to you for 2 hours, man.
I wasted my time and energy trying to teach you something.
Yeah, sure.
Man, if you had one piece of advice to give somebody starting out, what would you say?
I say be hungry and then also be willing to get better and like be open to everything, dude. Like you are so new. Just take advice from anybody you can. Surround yourself with good people. Right? Like anybody
that's
you can.
that's
like
big right there.
Like, it doesn't matter who it is, dude. Like, cause you don't have the option to be like picking and choosing what advice you can take or whatever.
Yeah,
you know nothing, right? Like, take it as it is. Be a sponge, bro. Like, I think in this industry, just be a sponge. Like, you'll go a long way for sure.
Solid.
Yeah.
I mean, David, what do we just say to somebody not starting out, but somebody that feels like they're plateauing?
That means you are not. How do I say this nicely? When you're first starting out, you're a fan of stuff, right? You're looking up to people. You're wanting to be like somebody. That doesn't change. There's still an artist out there that you can learn from. Yeah. And there's still somebody that you could likely look up to. And I'm not saying in some like weird, like I'm idolizing you. No, you should be able to recognize when somebody has something really valuable. And you should also be able to recognize that you don't have that thing. And when you look at somebody's work and you have zero appreciation for those things, that means that you're not going to strive to get that.
Right.
You're going to plateau because yours is the best. You are now the best in the world. And then everybody else has to catch up to you. That's what you're communicating when you say that you're not a fan of people's work anymore. So find yourself an artist, humble yourself back down, and it's okay to be a fool again.
Yeah.
Be a fool. Continue to be a fool. Continue to be bad at what it is that you do. Because if you have the mentality that yes, of course you're better than you were before, but you're not as good as you can be. Then you will, you can start to improve again. But you have to be a fan of stuff. You can't reinvent the wheel. Unfortunately, I had somebody tell me like, I have to figure out my own way. It's like, man, that's a long road.
Yeah.
That's a super long
really long road.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a gruelingly long road.
The analogy is a real analogy because you're literally paving your own way. You're having to set down blocks every step that takes forever. Why not look at people that have spent like an insane amount of hours? Look at multiple people. Look at them and love and appreciate what they do. If you don't love and appreciate, meditate on it.
I was like, imagine if scientists did that.
Yo.
Oh my.
Imagine if scientists did that. They're like, you know what, dude? I know you invented trigonometry and all that, but I think I'm gonna figure out my own way.
I'm pretty
bro.
cool.
I'm pretty good at like math, bro. I'm gonna figure out my whole new way of doing stuff.
You're not
dude.
that.
Yeah.
No, they all have built up a little bit on the top of the shoulders
Study
of each
people.
other. Yeah, they study each other.
Yeah.
And I think just always remember, dude, your favorite artist has a favorite artist.
There you go.
Boom.
If you don't have that, you are going to plateau.
That's right.
You have nothing else to reach for.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Beautifully said.
Are you wrapping it up?
we're wrapping it up. If you have anything else to say, drop it.
Can I tell the gospel in the quickest way I can
Absolutely.
possibly tell it?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm going to try my best here to make it quick. Everybody knows what it's like to ruin a relationship. Everybody knows what it's like to go against mom and dad and not have a good relationship with them. Ruin a relationship with a partner that you really love and you messed it up. Reconciliation with those things, it takes a price that needs to be paid. If you wrecked your relationship with your spouse because you cheated, because you couldn't manage your funds or whatever it may be, that person, in order for you to be reconciled to that person has to pay a huge bill for you. They have to swallow everything you did and pay a huge bill for you. And then you get reconciled. All that weight is on the person that you messed up. So the same thing happens with God. I know some people don't believe in God, but it is really, really difficult to justify that belief system when you look around and you see trees. Me, you, everybody here knows what it's like to draw a branch and draw leaves. You cannot place them randomly because otherwise it won't look right.
Right.
So there's a design to this world that points to a creator. That's as simple as I can put that part, but we messed up, y'all. Every day we go out and we do our own things because we think in our hearts we're right. And every time we do that, we break God's heart. In order for that relationship now to be reconciled, we have walked away. We walked away. Somebody has to pay that price. You can pay that price. And God says in his book, in his holy book, that missing the mark in life equals death. You are walking towards death. In order to pay that price, you can either die or you can have somebody pay the fine. With a relationship, somebody has to pay the fine. It's usually the person that you hurt. With God, he's been so gracious to us. He's been so good to us that he sent his only begotten son down to earth to die a death that we deserve to die because we're the ones that wrecked it. We're the ones that walked away. We're the ones that thought to ourselves that we were better than God's instructions. He died for us. And if you would only see it, realize that he is God, realize that he is Lord. Lord means that he is the ruler of your life. He will give you then that death as a ransom to your punishment. You no longer have to suffer that. You no longer have to pay that price because he died for you. So my biggest advice to any artist, anybody, recognize that this is a real historical person, Jesus, that really made claims to be God and then died and resurrected as he said that he did. And people literally put their lives on the line because they would not lie about his resurrection. Just look at the history. Recognize that he's God and just accept the fact that he died for you. And just look at him and give him your life. That is the gospel. We messed up. God rescued us. That's it.
Amen.
Amen, bro. Amen, brother.
That's it.
Amen.
Woo. Guys, thank you so much
Love
for coming
that.
out and hanging out with us. Thanks for sharing, your story, and thanks for sharing some good words from God.
Thank you for
Thank you for letting me.
thank
Guys,
you for
thank
your
you for having
boldness.
We love you guys.
Love
See
you
you
guys.
next time.
Thanks for
And
listening.
Peace.
See you guys.
You guys are the best.